was 9 years younger than Jacob.
So this is our first Boonville High School retirement banquet. Of course, we're here because our mom's retiring. We love her. We're here to support her. Couldn't be happier for what the future holds. We were pleasantly surprised to also find out that two legends of the Boonville High School system are also retiring this year. Terry Ehlers, Steve Litweiler. We'll save Litweiler for a little bit later, but we've got a few Ehlers stories and quotations that we would like to share this time.
Payback, right?
What's that?
Payback.
Something like that.
All in fun, loving fun. So, man, you know, every person, certainly me, every person I know that I went to school with, and I think it's the same for Mitch and his peers, yeah. I think everybody has a Terry Ehlers story, and they can't really tell it without cracking up a little bit. The man just makes an impression on you. And you know, we've known we were going to do this for a couple weeks, so I've been thinking about it. Like, what is it? I got a few Terry Ehlers stories, and I love them. Man makes me laugh. What is it? I mean, you know, he's certainly passionate about his job, about his students, about Boonville. Got a lot of Boonville pride, a lot of pirate pride. You know, he's a funny guy, has a lot of joy, just always ready to go. You know, I can't ever imagine Terry Ehlers having an off day or not being 100% ready any moment.
Sick day? You ever take a sick day? You were there every day, ever, I swear. 7 a.m.
Still do. I'm there for you.
Yeah, see, right there, ready to go. There's a little, you know, he's got some theatrics to him. There's a little bit of a showman in him. He's got that big, booming, kind of wrestling announcer voice. You know, there's always Terry Ehlers that they pick to do the pep rallies for the sports. Like I got to have Terry Ehlers say my name. One of the times I got to go to, or maybe both times I got to go to state wrestling finals, they would, you know, they put us in these shiny blue robes and had us walk out of the locker rooms as he called out our names. I'll never forget him calling out my name. It did that, like, it's so loud. It did that thing where, like, the speakers can't handle the amount of volume that's coming in, and it just blares. It just distorts everything.
And then when I was a freshman and sophomore, we always looked forward to pep assemblies because whenever the football team would be announced and DJ Van Jim would come up, he would yell, DJ Van Jim, one syllable at a time. And everybody loved it, everybody anticipated it, and eventually the crowd would start, all the students knew it was coming, they would start yelling it as well, and I really missed that after DJ graduated.
Gave it his all. You know, always treated students with respect. I remember I was talking with a friend of mine, Andrew Skelton, about this. He said, Mr. Ehlers is the first guy I can remember referring to students by Mr. their last name or Mrs. their last name, as Mr. Skelton, Mr. Hackman. Yeah, a lot of respect. Where are we? You know, so I'm sitting there, I'm like, what is it? What is it about the man? If I can boil it down to one word, I think it's just style. Terry Ehlers has style, you know? He doesn't go through life like you and me, like mere mortals. He has a way with words, especially words. I mean, you know, he could say things one way, the way most people do, this regular way, but he always finds just this way to kind of twist a phrase, make it his own. Like, you know, student gets out of line, he could tell him, you know, give him a warning, I'm going to send you to the principal's office. Instead, it was, there's a seat for you down the hill.
I was there downtown because alternative school was at Central, and I was so afraid to go downtown.
Downhill? Oh, don't get me down the hill.
Friends, he did not say friends. I don't know if he knows that word. Instead, he says running buddies.
Running buddies. You know, he could say kids, but he says little fellers.
anybody younger than us.
Us, yeah.
One of my favorites, he always said, "Eye in the sky, don't lie." I don't honestly know what that means. He would yell it in the hallway when somebody looked like they were up to no good. I don't know if the eye in the sky is like the cameras in the school, or God, or you.
Double meanings. She kept you thinking, you know?
Another one of my favorites, don't throw snowballs at people with guns. Something he said, essentially, don't be an idiot. It's about the Boston Massacre. You know, Chris Pasadix threw the snowball at the the British soldier, and that's how the Boston Massacre started. So,
Where'd you learn that from?
Mr. Ehlers, of course. Yeah, and so he always yelled, don't throw snowballs at people with guns. It sticks with me every day.
I sent out an email on Facebook to a few of the people I went to school with last week saying, it's like an email. It's like, yeah, a message. I wouldn't get bogged down in it. I sent a message on Facebook, electronic mail thing, to a few people I went to school with saying, gonna do a little thing for Ehlers. Let's send me some of your favorite quotations. Most consistent one that came back was just the word 15. You know, Ehlers seemed to kind of get himself pulled in these little jobs, like being the announcer for the pep rallies. One of them was in the lunch line. There was a certain time in lunch where you would just hear him say, in his big booming voice out in the hallway, 15. Now, I never knew what that meant. Honestly, 15 students left. I didn't know what job it was doing. Finally found out last week. It meant that there were 15 trays left. Yeah, for lunch. I mean, I guess that was necessary. That was needed. Now, he could have just ducked his head in to the lunch staff, said, "Ladies, there are 15 trays left." No. Stood out in the hallway, booming voice, 15. Day in and day out. Oh, that's good, yeah. One of my favorite ones that I've heard, I don't know the whole story around it, but apparently he was given a lecture on U.S. foreign policy in the 80s, I guess, is how I would put this. And, you know, he could have given some kind of dry thing about instability in Latin American democracies causing the drug trade, and then like heroin and cocaine are coming up and causing a lot of crime in the inner cities and stuff. No, but you know, he could have done that, but instead he painted a picture with words, and he talked about—
very good at that.
Very good at that. If we haven't emphasized that enough, we're going to go on about that for about 10 more minutes. But he just painted a picture about, you know, special forces storming a cartel's compound and breaking in, killing all the people, and just leaving a baby crying in the corner. Baby crying in the
That was down in Nexus. Yeah. When you ask kind of a common sense question, or when you challenge his authority or whatever, he would say, well, no, he would not say "because I said so." Instead, he'd say, "If I don't set you straight here, Mr. Ehlers will set you straight later." Yeah. We're out of prison, of course. And that was, yeah, very intimidating.
So, you know, if it's not clear enough, me and my friends I went to high school with got a real kick out of Mr. Ehlers. We liked him a lot. We liked him so much, and we liked that style he had, that way with words. And sometimes we would just, when we met him in the hall or something, hit him up with a random question just to see what he'd throw at us, just to see what he'd come up with. I remember one time we were sitting at the lunch table, and he walked by, and we started talking to him, and somebody said, "Hey, Mr. Ehlers, what's your middle name?" We didn't know. He said, "It's Cuttis." Is that right, Cuttis? Yeah. Now, we'd never heard that name, Cuttis. I looked it up last week, tried to see how it was spelled, couldn't find anything. I did that thing that you do with Google, where you spell something wrong, hoping it'll correct you, so you can figure out the right word. Nothing. I was like, Kuddes, babe? Nothing. It's not on babynames.com. Mr. Ehlers, what's your middle name? It's Cuttis. Oh, I haven't heard that. It's German. It's a river or something back in the fatherland. When I was in high school, Mr. Ehlers drove this brown truck with these mud flaps we really liked. Could have just had it back off. Could have just had a regular set of mud flaps. Nope. Style. Just Sam, pistols drawn, back off. And I did. Stay a good distance away. after I got out of high school, a few years later when my brother was in high school, he told me that Mr. Ehlers was actually selling the brown truck. And I said, Mitch, you make him an offer for those mud flaps. This really happened. This is a true story. I'm not making this up. I said, I want those mud flaps. You go up to him, you say, Mr. Ehlers, I hear you're selling your truck. Jacob will give you $25 for your mud flaps. And I said, don't let him know that's a low ball. Don't let him know I'm willing to go up to 200. I really want these mud flaps. I want them on my wall.
So I said, no, Jacob, I'm not going to do that for you. But then I do it for him. I corner Mr. Ehlers at the high school, and I say, Mr. Ehlers, here you're selling the truck. Jacob wants the mud flaps. How much do you want for him? He'll be willing to pay $25. Mr. Ehlers, blank expression on his face, says, I don't know, 30, I think 3,000 or nothing. And needless to say, we didn't get the mud flaps.
You know, he's a man who values good work from his students. When I was in high school, there was a project we all did involving presidential speeches. You'd be assigned a president, and you'd look up one of that president's noteworthy speeches, and then you'd record yourself on the camcorder, give a little speech to the camera, and then you'd burn it onto a VHS tape and turn it in. Get back this VHS tape now. Last vote too? Yeah, you get back this kind of grading sheet with all these different criteria. You know, it's whatever, I don't remember what it was, professionalism, historical accuracy maybe, presentation, something like that. And you know, it's so many points out of so many points, and it adds up to 100. That's your grade. I think I had Lyndon Johnson, I did some speech, I don't remember anything about it. But Adam Conway, youngest of the Conway clan, in 2005 did a similar project on the civil rights movement, made himself a video, but you know, the Conways, they're a brainy family, so instead of just putting it on a VHS tape, burned it onto a DVD, turned it in. Gets it back, the DVD, the grading sheet, all that different criteria, according to Adam Conway, is blank. Only thing that's there, scrawled across the entire page, D, B, D. Perfect score. Good work. He's a man of principle. This is one of my stories. It was election day 2000. I hadn't had Mr. Ehlers yet. His reputation definitely preceded him though. I had third period with Miss Lorenz, Spanish, in the same room that Ehlers had second period, don't know what. But you know, so I would be coming in while students from Ehlers were coming out. And that morning, so it was election day, and I remember I overheard Aaron Wren ask Mr. Ehlers who he voted for. It's an impolite question, I'll say, but he did it, he went for it. And I know why, because he wanted to see what Mr. Ehlers would say. I get it. So he asked Mr. Ehlers, who'd you vote for? Mr. Ehlers, I think he did a deep breath just like that. Said, well, got my ballot, went down to the voting place, got my ballot, went into the booth, sat down, looked at the ballot, said, he without sin, cast the first stone. And I voted my conscience. Don't know what that means. Don't know what that means. But it's biblical, and that counts. That means something. This has been fun. I got a few more of these that I could share, but yeah, we'll keep it short. You know, finally here, Mr. Ehlers ultimately, he's a great guy. He's a man who knows what's valuable, understands that we're all mortal. Our time on earth is limited, it's precious, and he knows what he loves. Loves his daughters, loves his wife, loves his home. Always loved talking about that home on Lorry Drive that he used to have, and he would always say, this is one of his favorite lines, he'd say, you know, he's a man who's committed, so he just, you know, I'm going to stay there till Thatcher Wood's funeral home comes and gets me. Great line. Great line. And I believed it. I believed this man's going to be there till the bitter end. You can imagine my surprise when I heard, many years later, Mr. Ehlers had moved. Where'd he go? One house over. Man had style. Mr. Ehlers.
Very good. Good job, buddy. Good, Jake.